If you strip away the poetry, a long-term relationship operates exactly like a mechanical engineering problem. You have two highly complex systems running under constant daily pressure, and keeping them from jamming requires precise maintenance. Standard advice insists that constantly communicating your feelings and doing heavy emotional work is the universal fix. But clinical data reveals the exact opposite. Sometimes pouring more emotional effort into the system actively destabilizes your partner. To find out exactly how your specific household operates, we are going to build a 7-day relational feedback loop diagnostic. This will track the hidden emotional labor occurring day to day and stop caregiver burnout before it starts. Shifting away from emotional guessing and objectively tracking your inputs is the only reliable way to pinpoint the exact mechanical failures causing friction between you and your partner. Step 1 of your tracker requires you to establish a primary operating baseline goal for the next 7 days. Your first option is harmony maintenance. In this mode, you prioritize system equilibrium. You recognize that holding your tongue and suppressing certain emotional responses is actually a valid, healthy protective function to keep the peace. Your second option is growth intimacy. This mode prioritizes deep vulnerability and actively accepts that higher relational volatility and even conflict is a necessary trade-off for getting closer. Cautionary tone. Do not select the growth mode if either you or your partner are currently exhausted by intense external stressors, like work deadlines or family emergencies. Explicitly choosing one of these baselines up front prevents you and your partner from holding each other to completely conflicting, uncommunicated standards of success during the diagnostic week. Next, you need to structure your tracker. Set up a 3-column daily log designed to record specific instances of emotion work. Column 1 is the action. This is where you log the specific efforts you make to enhance your partner's emotional well-being. For example, validated partner's work stress. Column 2 is the category. You will divide your actions into either supportive stability work, like listening and validating, or systemic adjustment work, which includes proactive mood management or walking on eggshells. Column 3 is the trigger. Here, you classify the origin of the emotion work. Was your effort explicitly requested by your partner? Was it spontaneous? Or was it purely reactionary? Sorting your actions like this helps distinguish between a spontaneous investment in the relationship and simply paying a debt just to avoid an argument. You need to fill this out at the end of each day. Treat this strictly as raw data collection. It is a diagnostic tool, not a moral scoreboard to use against your partner. By day 3, this categorized data will map out the unspoken systemic imbalances in your household, revealing exactly who initiates the emotional offloading. Now we analyze the logs for volatility spikes. You are looking for moments where one partner's supportive effort unexpectedly caused the other to become anxious or withdraw. To understand why this happens, we look to a 2015 daily diary study of 74 couples that specifically tracked female emotional work and male relationship volatility. This graph charts the study's core anomaly. When women input higher levels of emotion work, the rising line here, the men actually experience a measurable, highly unstable fluctuation in their feelings of love and commitment. To decode why these specific spikes happen in your own logs, use the mirror versus hammer root cause analysis tool. The mirror reaction occurs when your emotional input forces your partner to reflect on their own need to grow. This causes instability, but it is temporary and productive. The hammer reaction happens when your emotional input is perceived as a demand to conform to an unagreed-upon standard. This immediately leads to defensive withdrawal. Correctly identifying whether your effort is acting as a mirror or a hammer dictates your next move. You either push through the temporary volatility, or you back off entirely to restore equilibrium. Finally, you must audit your tracker for external interference that your relationship system is completely unequipped to process. Severe negative inputs like clinical depression, severe anxiety, or bipolar fluctuations are systemic threats. They require you to immediately initiate the firewall protocol. Rule 1 of the firewall is the pre-flight check. Before venting severe negativity, you must get verbal confirmation that your partner actually has the emotional capacity to listen at that exact moment. Rule 2 is the observation check. You are strictly prohibited from offloading onto a partner whose own emotional disclosure level is visibly depleted. Rule 3 is strict professional routing. Clinical mental health issues are to be managed exclusively by licensed professionals, never the romantic partner. Treating your partner like a therapist violates the boundaries of the system and guarantees a catastrophic failure through caregiver burnout. You now have the complete 7-day diagnostic framework, the baseline goal toggle, the 3-column emotion work tracker, the volatility root cause analyzer, and the firewall protocol. Run this observation log strictly for 7 days. Keep the raw data entirely to yourself during this week to ensure your observations remain objective and uninfluenced. Once the week concludes, you will use your collected data to identify the exact bottlenecks in your household and formally recalibrate the relationship system together. Relationships are mechanical systems first, and emotional experiences second. Fix the mechanics, and the feelings will naturally follow.